Hey, GW coming to you live. We have a lot to talk about because it's been a very chaotic, tragic sort of half a month here in Hollywood. With Hollywood, not in Hollywood, because we're not in Hollywood, obviously. And it's probably a better place, with them doing what they do. First of all, I want to address the death of James Vanderbeek. He died recently of colorectal cancer. Sending a wake up call through the medical facilities across the world, and everybody is now they're urging people to get screened, and I think it's a good thing. I got to admit though, I was never a fan of his until 1999 when I seen a little picture. Yep, you guessed it, Varsity Blues, where he played John Moxon, quarterback opposite John Voight. That picture pretty much put him on the map. My wife knows him from Dawson's Creek, and we actually have been watching Dawson's Creek, and it's a pretty cool show. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. But he was in another movie for a little bit, and I don't have it with me. I wish I could find it, but it's called Rules of Attraction, and it's written by the same author that did American Psycho, Bret Easton Ellison. And in the movie, he plays Sean Bateman. Coincidence? To the titular character in American Psycho, Patrick Bateman. They are brothers. And in Vanderbeek's story in the movie, he's a hard-partying drug dude, drug addict, and the story goes off the crazy rails, and it's pretty good. It is a very good, and it shows the more, I guess, madness side of Vanderbeek. The whole movie is a satire of teenage life, partying, and whatnot have you. College kids. It's pretty cool. So definitely check out Rules of Attraction. And I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you know Bret Easton Ellison's work, you know he likes to sort of spearhead sexuality and violence and craziness, and it was just a fun ride. But yeah, there is a connection there if you guys didn't know. He was also on a movie that went right to video called Final Draft, which he was a writer, and he locked himself in his bedroom, or his house rather, if I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen this. And basically he is haunted by visions of a clown. The film didn't do very well. In fact, if you look up Final Draft, it's not rated that great. But I thought there was something to it, and it was neat seeing him do something out of the teen element, But he'll be missed, and that was just unexpected. But yeah, check out Dawson's Creek, Varsity Blues, put him on the map as a star. And definitely check out Rules of Attraction for that. Those are two films I really do like. And like I said, I was not a fan until Varsity Blues. Varsity Blues, like I said, catapulted him on the map, and it really helped that MTV got behind that. And then Catherine O'Hara, wow. I mean, that was the mom in Home Alone, And just, I would say last December, I saw a commercial with her and Macaulay Culkin. They were redoing the thing, and I said I think I addressed it last time, but it's shocking. And then Reverend Jesse Jackson, whether you liked Reverend Jesse Jackson or you hated him, he was a household name. You knew of him. He was a pop culture icon as well as a very important politician. I just remember on SNL they would make fun of him, and Eddie Murphy did too in stand-up. He would say Jesse Jackson would make up a word, and it's not hard to see him do that, and Eddie Murphy pretty much nailed it. But that was pretty sad because, like I said, not that I paid attention much, but I knew of Jesse Jackson. He transcended politics to go in pop culture. I think he was on some movies, and I also think he was, guest starring on some comedy series here and there. But yeah, tragic. Not fun. And then the world is still glued. Me and my wife are still glued to the Nancy Guthrie mom thing. There's a new theory that the cartel might have taken her. I don't know. but it's got the nation's attention. I mean, every time I turn around, it's like, hey, let's see what's new on there. So between the Olympics and watching that, we're pretty much mesmerized. We're glued to the TV. We are the TV generation, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see, what else is going on in the news? Oh, we watched the men's skiing high jump, where they jump off the ramp, do their tricks, And the Japanese team or the Chinese team, I think it's the Chinese team, couldn't land for anything, guys. It was crazy because it was like one guy fell, then another guy fell. And it was crazy to see that, these top athletes actually screw up. They got a couple years till the next Olympics. They got, 4 years? And I think that maybe they can work on the landing. And I'm not saying they're not good, because they are very talented. They're very talented. They're more talented than I am. Trust me. But, it was just insane to watch. And the bobsledding, the 2-woman bobsledding event concluded yesterday. In fact, right now, the men's hockey team for the United States is going against the men's hockey team in Canada for a gold or a silver medal. So I'm going to be checking that out as soon as I'm done dropping this. And, but yeah, between the Olympics, the Nancy Guthrie thing, and these Hollywood deaths, my brain has been buzzed. As far as movies go, I haven't really watched anything too crazy. We've been going back through The Big Bang Theory, to be honest with you. Last movie I watched was The Departed on 4K, which you guys get that, because the picture pops, the sound effects are great. Scorsese at his best. But it's insane. Couple other things I want to touch on. First of all, I've been playing The Division. I know Ubisoft, that company's in a quandary. They're restructuring. They're laying off hundreds of people. And I went back and I actually bought The Division 1 because I've been playing it and I've been hooked on it. And there was a couple of people last night that really had pulled me through. And I just wanted to say thank you, because they got me to level 30. Level 30, guys, if you don't know, in that game is the end game, and you pretty much can take on any challenge once you're up to par. So I want to thank everybody who jumped on Xbox last night and helped me out. And on that note, Justin, I'm sorry I couldn't play Fortnite with you. I was in the middle of leveling up, and I do apologize. So if you see this, man, don't hold it against me. So there's that. Speaking of video games, one of the biggest releases of the year is supposed to drop on Friday. Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil 9. I got to admit, I was a little bit burned out of the whole, shooting zombies deal, but I saw a promo for this. I'm going to try to sweet talk the wife into getting it for me, because it is supposed to be epic, and the biggest selling point is Leon Kennedy's return to the franchise, and it looks like it should be pretty good. And I've played all of them. I have beaten all of them. So maybe I'll give this one a shot, if the wife allows. What else is going on? Oh, another thing in that I just want to say about video games, and then I'm going to shut up. So, a game dropped a little while ago called Code Violet, and it wasn't the most polished experience. It was trashed, pretty much. And I actually checked it out. And I played it. And you know what? There's two takes on this. One, the game was made by 4 people. 2, you can look at it and go, 4 people, this thing sucks because it doesn't have a major studio, major backing, or major, expense tied behind it. Or you could look at it and go, for 4 people, this ain't bad. I wouldn't call it Game of the Year by any means, guys, but I wouldn't say it's the worst piece of crap I've ever played. Coming from me, I just wanted to address that real quick, and then now we're going to be off video games. So as far as horror-related stuff, I did see A24 has acquired the Texas Chainsaw Massacre rights, and they are actually going to do a TV show. And my thoughts on it were, okay, are you going to do what you did to Dusk Till Dawn when Robert Rodriguez sold that to El Rey Network? Are they going to stretch the whole movie into what, 12 episodes, I think it was? You can do that, but if you stray too far from the source material, it's not gonna go good. I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love all the movies except for that crap that Fade Alvarez put out, 2 years ago? And I trashed that movie. I really did. Because I had so much expectations going into that, and everything that made the franchise great, he ran into the ground. But he did recover with the latest Aliens movie. Or Alien Romulus, I'm sorry. So, the Friday the 13th lawsuit has now come to an end, and I think you're going to see projects on it. So that's Peacock has acquired the rights to that TV show, but I don't know how you can do it, because unless you keep making it fresh, it's probably going to just get ran into the ground. I don't know. It's been chaotic. Personally, with stuff going on with me, I got on here maybe a month ago, maybe a little less, and I told you what was going on. And I know not many people caught that film or that review, because it was very personal to me. But that was my way of saying, hey, what's up, in case you see me at work or you see me out, and you're friends of mine, you know what's up, because I don't have time to sort of bare my soul to everybody. Especially like at work, whenever I fill in, I've got a certain time I got to get things done, and I don't have time to really get into the biographical details of some of the things that have been going on in my life. But as far as all that personal stuff goes, it's pretty much neutral, remaining neutral. My cousin Ray, I like to call him my cousin. I know he went for his first round of chemo. And he's the one that I told you that, had that sickle cell carcinoma cancer. I haven't heard anything. I am probably going to text him or call him at some point just to kick it with him. And the reason that I don't really sometimes it's a double-edged sword, guys, because you go ahead and you want to give somebody all kinds of support, but sometimes they might just want left alone. So you never quite know which side of the fence you're on. Also, on that note, big shout out to the Mainstream Mouseketeers. I've gotten to know them a little bit better. Hopefully, one of these days I get them over here and we can do chop-up video, you know what I mean? And Katie and Andy, they're awesome people. And again, Jay, sorry I didn't play Fortnite with you. My wife don't like that game. Jump on the Division, we'll talk. Is there any releases I'm looking forward to, though? You know what? I don't know. Everything either comes right to video anymore, or spends a couple of days in the theater and gets released on Netflix. So you really don't have to go. There have been a few movies I would like to check out streaming wise, but again, guys, I haven't had the time. I know I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. But I really wanted to come on here and talk about James Vanderbeek, because like I said, that was something to come out of nowhere. And the Rob Reiner thing shocked me too, because I'm still, going over it in my head. I'm thinking, this guy put out a ton of good movies. I have yet to watch the second Spinal Tap, because I know it was his final feature. But you go back to Stand By Me. That was a genius. From a short story from Stephen King to almost one of the most important films, I think, of the 20th century. I just read that on one of the Google things. The movies come up and it said the most important ones. So yeah, I don't know. And we're supposed to. Everybody's bracing for this next winter storm. We're supposed to get today all through into Monday. They say 12 to 18 inches, but honestly, I don't know. I don't think we're going to get that. I really hope we don't get that. And the only other thing, too, is that I was just before I come down here, I read that Corey Feldman is struggling with financial issues. And I'm thinking to myself, Corey does a lot of stuff. Corey has put out a lot of direct-to-video stuff that's actually been pretty good. He's an advocate for, he speaks against, child molestation in Hollywood. He's made no bones about that. I actually like the dude. I like Corey. I've liked him since, I saw him act in Stand By Me. He was just one of those crazy dudes that you could relate to, and I followed his career pretty much. The only thing I didn't do was read his book, but I didn't have to. I've watched every single movie he's put out. And I know they're not all top notch, but they're great. And the other thing, I didn't know he filed for divorce. Corey's one of them Hollywood personalities that lay low. He's got his music on, which to be fair isn't terrible. Me and my wife kind of listen to him here and there. So I really hope he doesn't have any financial problems because, I really like the dude. And I'd hate to see, as a fan, I would hate to see him, all destitute and everything. And I really like the guy. I really do. I mean, I'm a Corey Feldman fan like you wouldn't believe. So I really hope that ain't true. And then on the Olympics, did you guys hear? This is kind of wild. That a couple of skiers or snowboarders, I can't remember which, were ejected from the games because of a chemical that they used to wax their skis or their snowboard. Now, I know, like they were saying, whenever I first heard about it when we were watching the Olympics, what if they didn't know that the chemical was illegal? Or it was traces of it, and they still sent them home packing. The Olympics this year have been crazy, guys. I mean, we have, like I said, we just have people getting kicked out for using wax that they might have not known. There was a hockey fight. I think one of the Canadian guys got into it, and he's lucky he wasn't suspended. Sidney Crosby got injured. The Chinese jumping team high jump team can't land. You have Lindsey Vonn. That was horrible. She crashed, and I think her career's over. And they're just filled with drama. Storylines abound. I mean, it's just been insane to see some of these things that have gone on in the Olympics. Insane. But speaking of the Olympics, I'm going to go check out that U.S. versus Canada game. I just wanted to come on here and, say what's up. Also, before I forget, I want to give a big shout out to Adult DVD Recaps because they actually commented on a video I did and they really liked it. And I really like those. That's a group of people on YouTube that sort of dumb down XXX rated movies to really show you what they're about. Because a lot of people don't know that there's actually story involved in there. So I give a big shout out to Adult DVD Recaps. And thank you for the comment. You guys did awesome on the Debbie Does Dallas video. You guys really did. So I hope you guys get this, and I hope you see it. I'm sorry that the shout out took so long. But you guys know as well as I do, real life comes in and it kicks your tail. So, big shout out to Adult DVD Recaps. Big shout out to the people that helped me through the division. Big shout out to everybody who supported me, And it's been crazy, y'all. And it sucks that James Vanderbeek, Catherine O'Hara, and Jesse Jackson passed away. But I think that's going to be the downward trend where we're going to see, celebrities that we know that have been pop culture icons, for lack of a better term, just go. I mean, I'm sure there's more. I know there's more celebrity deaths, but I just can't remember. But yeah, definitely check out The Rules of Attraction if you haven't. It's a darkly satiric Bret Easton Ellison movie. And if you know American Psycho, you kind of know what you're getting into content wise. I really enjoyed it. I just wish that I had the video, the DVD, so I could read it to you. But James Vanderbeek's story is the best. In fact, the movie starts out with him and his story about picking up drugs just escalates into sheer over the top violence. You know, Also, guys, if you haven't yet, if you like cinema, definitely check out the Criterion Collection. I just watched The Doom Generation on there again. I have a copy of it, but sometimes revisiting these things streaming is a better deal than rummaging for hours trying to find your DVDs. So, definitely check that out. I just wanted to say what's up and tell you a little bit about the Olympics and tell you a little bit about, James Vanderbeek. And yes, I'm going to go get screened for colorectal cancer because, you know, you never know. And I always tell my wife, and this is on the real, I always tell my wife, I said, it's better to catch a problem before it becomes a major problem. So take that for what it's worth. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy what's left of it. And hopefully we don't get snowed in because I ain't getting no bulldozer to get out my driveway. Peace.